Hey guys, Toga here. This is the American P-36C. It is a vehicle you may have seen if you played low BR, Air RB, and in my opinion, this is the US's strongest vehicle in Rank 1. Now there are 8 P-36 variants in War Thunder, with 3 of them being American ones, 4 of them being non-American ones known as H-75s, and a final one being a non-American one known as the CW-21. But today we will be focusing on the P-36C, which is the second one in the American tech tree and sits at a BR of 1.7. The P-36C gets access to a single a Browning M2 50 cal and 3 Browning 7.62 MGs, which for the BR is actually fairly strong, and the 50 cal is often a welcome surprise for its BR. Now let's see how the P-36 can do in an actual match. So to start, I decide to dive on and try and strike fight this BA-65 below me. It's an attacker, it has a single upper rear turret, so it shouldn't be too terrible to fight, but in weaker vehicles it can definitely be a challenge. Now for my first pass, my aim is fairly good, but I just don't hit quite good enough to take him out, so I loop around and go for a second pass. And just like that, we get our first pilot snipe. Now moving on to where I'm towards the main pack, I see a BF-109 coming in on my right side, and I decide that he'd be a fairly good target. Now I could go head to head with this guy, but I decide to go for more of a dogfight just because it would keep me from getting any injury, and I found out it is only a BF-109B1. I cross a little below his gun so he can't get any shots off me. I'm able to outturn him, and I go to take the shot, and just like that, another pilot snipe. Now I'm going head to head with this Stuka, and I decide to take some shots in more of a head to head fashion, and luckily he misses me both with his shots and in a collision. I turn around to go after him, and I'm not quite able to line up shots, but I'm getting fairly close and end up getting a hit. I see a HE-112 and a BF-109 approaching fast, so I decide to take a few more shots and see what I can do, and end up taking his gunner, but I'm forced to disengage due to the BF-109. Just like the first B1, this one is fairly easy to dogfight, and I ended up taking some shots, but don't quite finish him off here, but I do right there. Now I dogfight to get the HE-112 to overshoot, and then he ends up passing by, just like that, and it ends up only being a V5, which really isn't that difficult to deal with. I really have bad aim here, and end up running out of 50 cals, but end up getting some hits. And then because I am able to outturn him, I can just keep pressure on him, making this dogfight fairly trivial, even if I no longer have my 50 cal. I finally get a crit on my third pass, and he is very injured, but he is still flying, so I go in for a fourth. Again, not quite enough. These HE-112s are quite durable, so I have to go in for a fifth pass, and I'm getting fairly low on ammo. I finally pilot snipe him on my fifth pass, getting myself my fourth kill of the match. Now, usually I don't like going for people near their airfield, but these bombers were airfield camping, so they kind of forced my hand. And I decide I want to go for the SM-79 first, but about halfway through the dive, I change my mind. Because of my low ammo, I'm going to go for the smaller and easier to kill Stuka. A quick pilot snipe gets me an ace, and I decide that since it's very little ammo left. I want to go for this SM-79, whether it works or doesn't. The airfield hits me pretty bad, but I am able to pilot snipe him, getting myself a sixth kill, and I decide that it would be a good idea to turn back and run. Because of the damage due to the airfield, I quickly land, rearm, refuel, and repair, and then get ready to go for the seventh person on their team. I take off quickly, heading towards our full health base because I assume he's going to be heading in this direction to get himself some points as a bomber. And as I'm going for the seventh and final kill on their team, the match ends up ending, leaving me at only six. Now, in my opinion, six kills in an 8v8 is a fairly strong match, and it just goes to show how powerful the P-36C can really be.